Okay, I'm gonna do a update on my DIY solar panel for the Arlo, right there. I made one change, and I had one issue uh, that I fixed. The change that I made was I switched that MOSFET switch for this mechanical relay switch uh, to compensate for that the issue that I was having with Twilight. So right now I have it connected to this little solar panel that controls that switch that controls the bigger solar panel, so it could turn off and turn on. With this switch, I have no issues with Twilight because this one right now it's on. I don't know if you can see it. I'm gonna put my hand through right on top of the solar panel, and this thing just shuts off. I'm gonna remove the hand right now, and since there's a cloud going through right now, this thing just shut off by itself. Uh, so once the cloud goes through, then this thing's gonna turn back on. Hopefully the cloud goes through pretty soon. Anyways, the other issue I had while the cloud goes through, the other issue I had is I was using the cigarette lighter charger, and it was starting to go bad on me. I was only getting like 300 milliamps, regardless of the day, the time of the day, and how sunny it was or how cloudy it was. So I tried to go back to my original setups, the DC to DC converter. It didn't work. I had the issue that it was giving me a charging fault issue with that one. And then I tried my other ones. This one gave me the same thing. I went ahead and bought this one. So I thought, okay, this one's supposed to convert 12 volts to 5 volts, and I was getting the same issue with charging fault. I bought this type, thinking, okay, maybe this one's come from China. So I went ahead and bought ones that I'm pretty sure comes from China too. But I got it on eBay, and I was having the same problems. So I think I bought like 4 of these all combined, and I wired them all, and I had the same problem. So I went to a 99-cent store and I bought another USB, and it gave me the same problem. So like, oh man, this is not right. So I went back. There was a bargain store, and I saw they had a different models or whatever type of USBs. The same concept, but it's just a different one from the 99-cent store. They're a little bit square, They're square, and the other ones are round. It's inside there. So I bought it and I brought it over, and I connected it, and bam, it worked. I'm like, well, all right, I was happy. It was giving me like 700 milliamps. Okay, that's good enough. I did notice that it started getting a little bit hot, but not too hot. I'm waiting for the cloud to go through so you can see this thing turn on by itself, but I guess it doesn't. The cloud is not. But this is why I love this one, because right now with a MOSFET, it probably would have been on, and it will be draining the battery. I don't know why. I don't know what the problem is, and with this one right now everything's off, and I can guarantee you my the battery on the Arlo, it's 100%. I think right now it's about 100%. I'm standing right next to it, so I'm pretty sure it's recording. So right now when it comes back up, it's probably gonna start charging. But once it's 100%, you're always gonna see about 200 milliamps of current going through, regardless if it's 100% or not. So come on, cloud. It seems like the cloud is coming through, hopefully. So one thing you keep in mind, there it goes. One thing to keep in mind is there it goes, 700, 670. So right now it's generating 640 milliamps at 5 volts. So yeah, so I know. So once that battery goes back to 100%, then it's just gonna stay around 200 milliamps. I noticed that. So like I said, you need about 200 milliamps just to maintain the consumption of the arlo. Anything else, it will be just charging, and anything below that, it will be discharging. It will be you'll be discharging your battery. So one thing I keep in mind is that little solar panel needs to be small enough to big enough to trigger the relay, and not too big that it will not turn off. Like that one, I used it, and it will probably stay on for a little bit longer because it's generating, even though with a cloud going through, it's still generating enough. It's generating enough milliamps to or power to trigger the switch. Keep in mind that those are 6 volts. That one. So in this, they sell different models, 5 volts, 6 volts. I mean, 6 volts, 12 volts, and I don't know if it's 9, but I got the 6 volts since I have a bunch of panels that are 6 volts. I didn't want to do the 12 volt. So keep that in mind when you purchasing, if you are, or yeah. Anyways, right now everything's working fine. Oh, one thing I forgot to mention. I went and bought. Once I noticed that the USB was working, the cigarette lighter charger was working, I went and bought another one, and to my surprise, it didn't work. It gave me the charging fault issue again. So I don't know what it is. That one's working right now. It might, I don't know how long it's gonna last. So I'm gonna try to go back to the store and buy another one, return the other one, buy another one, and the one that works, I'm just gonna keep it as a backup. Hopefully this one doesn't go bad. Right now it's just there because just to show you, but it's gonna go back up there the same one as that one is. That one is still working a little bit. It gives me about 300 milliamps. So I'm gonna keep it as a backup just in case. But all that stuff is gonna go up there. I'm still gonna create a little casing for that one that goes on next to the. So it goes right underneath of the eave, so it doesn't get wet. So yeah. Anyways, I think this one is gonna work pretty good for the remaining of the life of the whatever. I don't know. Anyways, this is my true DIY solar panel update.